breaking news. The House Judiciary Committee has just released the official transcript from Hope Hicks' closed-door testimony yesterday. Here it is. A lot of paper. Not sure what's in there. The close campaign aide to President Trump appeared before the committee for over 7 hours yesterday, much of the time being blocked by White House lawyers from answering any questions. For example, Hicks wouldn't even say whether she had been truthful in her testimony to Robert Mueller. Also new tonight, we've got reporting that former Vice President Joe Biden phoned Cory Booker last night in an attempt to smooth things over in their conflict over Biden's comments about working with old-time segregationists. First up, tonight's breaking news on Hope Hicks from the House Judiciary Committee. According to that committee, 4 Trump administration lawyers were present during the hearing yesterday, and they intervened on 155 occasions to stop Hicks from answering questions. The word appearing most prominently and repeatedly in the transcript I have here from yesterday is objection, the word objection. Hicks could, however, speak about the campaign. Among other things, Hicks said she supported Trump's use of illegally hacked emails to hack Hillary Clinton in 2016, defending it as, quote, publicly available information to draw a contrast between the candidates. Those were her words. When asked whether she'd accept foreign dirt again today, she said she would not. She said she would report it to the FBI if I felt it was legitimate enough to have our law enforcement dedicate their time to it. Additionally, Hicks said she was very surprised to learn that there were over 100 contacts between the Trump campaign and people connected to the Russian government. But Hicks was repeatedly blocked from discussing the president's obstructive behavior, which was in the special counsel's report. She also did not address Michael Flynn's resignation, Jeff Sessions' recusal, James Comey's firing, or the president's attempt to remove Robert Mueller, the special counsel himself. I'm joined now by Cynthia Axne, former federal prosecutor, Mike Memoli, NBC News correspondent, David Jolly, former Republican congressman from Florida. Thank you all. Cynthia, I have to start with you. What is this thing, this word objection? This is loaded. All this wasted paper, a lot of this paper simply has the word objection on it.
Right, and another half of it has the word absolute immunity, which is not a thing. The White House is saying no senior official can be compelled to testify about what's happened in the White House. It is not a legally supportable argument. And the only time it's come up in court, it was shot down. What the good news about absolute immunity is because it's a constitutional question, it can be handled rather summarily by the courts. It can be done quickly. The bad news is that after it comes back, she'll just claim executive privilege. We're going nowhere with this. She's not going to give any more information.
Even if you had her under subpoena, even if you brought her in, and she said, I'll answer your questions. And she says, I don't remember that. I don't remember that.
There's a lot of I don't recalls. It's Trump spin. Did you know that this woman, they didn't even swear her in before she testified? This is ridiculous waste. Okay. I mean, look, you and I have all this paper.
Okay, in a real world where real people had honest conversations, which we're not in. What I always thought of her as a confidant of the press, somebody that he implicitly trust not to rat him out, that he can say anything. You know, I can't stand that guy, or I'm BSing here. You know, I'm feeling bad. I mean, like he would share everything with her, right? Well, so she knows it all about the Russians, about Roger, what's his name? All these people.
And one of the things, the Democrats wanted this to be the moment where they bring the Mueller report alive. Well, they didn't do it here in one part because this is all happening behind closed doors, first of all. The other thing we learned...
Just to get safe.
Yeah.
She knows it all, right?
She does. And that's one thing that does come through very clearly in this report is she was as close, if not the closest confidant in the entire operation. She said she was the only press staffer for a long time. She defends her invocation of white lies, which she told the House Intelligence Committee last year. She admits to the committee here that she was being asked to draft statements that she did not even bother to ask then candidate, now President Trump, whether they were true or not. She was doing so, including with Karen McDougal, the hush money payments. So Democrats wanted
just to make that point, I read the transcript. She said he had nothing to do with her. Did you ever ask if he had anything to do with her? No.
I have no recollection.
She just knew the right answer was, I don't have anything to do with this porn star. She has, or not this model.
What's interesting, though, in the same token, is the Democrats also ask her about her relationship with the president now. She said she's only talked to him 5 to 10 times since she left the White House. The other part, which was interesting, they asked her, have you read the Mueller report? She says, no, I lived the Mueller report.
So what, she's laughing at this thing.
She is at times dismissive to the members of the committee as well. She accuses them of not using those words, but essentially, to borrow the president's phrase.
Dave Jolly, politically, forget the law, because obviously the president ignores the law. He has taught his people how to behave like him.
Yeah, sure.
Live in another world. Laugh at the fact you can lie. Laugh at the fact you can deny reality. Because look, what did reality ever do for this president? Go ahead.
Which is why politically, House Democrats need to make a decision. Do they go with the information they have or not? Because I think if they try to extrapolate more information, we're going to see a lot of episodes like this. Look, what she did is provide kind of a look in the mirror for Trump's personality and for everybody around him. What I found most ironic, most intriguing, Chris, is this. She acknowledged that she said, look, we didn't have advance notice of the WikiLeaks or Russia collusion, but we were ready. We had a messaging campaign when the WikiLeaks release dropped. We wanted to be ready to seize on that type of interference, if you will. And then she's asked, well, during the transition, did you speak with the president about how to message about Russian interference? And she said, oh, yeah, we decided to blame the intel agencies because the president was concerned that if it looked like we were seizing on these moments, it would undermine the legitimacy of his election. This Hope Hicks, as much as she said objection or her lawyers wouldn't let her testify, the reality is we got a perfect glimpse into the soul of this administration, which is they took whatever help they could get, and then they're just going to ignore it and say, hey, nobody can touch us, though. Don't worry about it.
Now, you raised the question. They didn't even think to swear her in. I was noticing the courtesy, the extreme courtesy they showed her. Sheila Jackson Lee, who's a pretty tough Democrat, said, are the cameras bothering you? Well, let's get the cameras out of the room. They're bothering you. I mean, it seemed like they were incredibly nice to her.
Well, I mean, they were nice to her. They let her testify privately.
Yeah.
There's no reason why they did that. I mean, especially if the goal is we're going to try to bring this to life. She's privately. She's not sworn. I mean, half the lawyers in Washington, D.C. represented, and they were all in the room.
Well, that's it. This is the dramatic point, Mike. With the Democrats who are pushing for.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.